Kevin has picked 5 players to watch that you need to keep an eye on that are going to be moving potentially in the European transfer market. Let's start with Leon Goretzka of Bayern Munich. Could be on his way.
Yeah, I think the Goretzka thing's really interesting. What shifted here is that Rudi Völler, who has the ear of the Germany coach, Julian Nagelsmann, is a big part of that setup at the DFB. He has said recently that if Goretzka has real interest in being part of that Germany squad for the World Cup, he's going to have to move. You look at the players that Bayern have in that central midfield area. They've brought in Joao Palhinha, and they've already got Alex Pavlovic. They want to develop him. He's a homegrown player. Joshua Kimmich looks as though he's going to be a big part of what they do in midfield. Now, yes, Goretzka's wages are big. Yes, he's not the youngest player, but I still believe he can do a job at a high level. So I think Premier League clubs would do well to keep an eye on this. He's saying publicly he wants to stay. We'll see.
We might just expand on where he could go a bit later on in the show. How about this chap, Maxence Lacroix, centre-back from Wolfsburg?
So I said back in April, I thought as soon as Oliver Glasner went to Palace, the light bulb went off and I thought, well, that's the kind of player I think could do really well in the Premier League and that Glasner has got the best out of, because when he first came through, really interesting player actually at Wolfsburg, then dipped a little, but then when Glasner took over at Wolfsburg, he linked him up with the American defender John Brooks. He was one of the best players in the league, and they got into that top 4 and qualified for the Champions League. Only a year left on his deal, cheaper option, quick, good in the air. I think it'd be a great signing.
All right, keep an eye on him. How about Ademola Lookman of Atalanta? Hat-trick in the Europa League final. Of course, there must be a few suitors for him.
So what shifted here? Being really strong with the move to PSG and apparently asked to be left out of the squad for the game against Lecce. Atalanta want to keep him. PSG are looking at options. I said earlier about Jadon Sancho, so they're looking for that attacking player. Gonzalo Ramos, as I mentioned, injured, so they need somebody to come in and just beef up those forward options. With Victor Osimhen quite expensive, they're just looking elsewhere.
Yeah. OK, let's get back to a centre-back then. Jonathan Tah of Leverkusen. He was associated with Bayern, moved to Bayern, wasn't he?
So Bayern very, very keen on him at one stage in the window, but Leverkusen holding firm. They don't want him to go. He was such a key part of what they did last season as they won the double in Germany. He was only a sub in the Super Cup at the weekend, but he came on, played a big role. They won it. And so it looks as though it's leaning towards him staying, but he's only got 1 year left on his deal.
OK, and finally, maybe a name you might not know that well, Florian Neuhaus, midfielder from Borussia Mönchengladbach. So could he be coming to the Premier League?
It could be. There was a stage where he was being linked with £40 million moves to Bayern, to Dortmund, maybe Premier League clubs. And it's just all tailed off for him in the last couple of years. His club, Borussia Mönchengladbach, have had a bit of a nosedive in general. He's not even getting in that team right now, and he wasn't anywhere near getting in the team at the weekend in the German Cup. So I think he could be, if Premier League clubs are looking to snap up a fixer-upper, he's a great technical midfielder in the right setup.